Hi, I'm Greg Perkins with Oak Ridge Bellows. Today we're talking about testing two-ply testable bellows. And a lot of plants, chemical plants, refineries, power plants, have bellows that have two-ply. That's a redundant system so that if a ply fails, they don't have to worry about it. They got an extra ply. But most plants don't actually go to the trouble of testing those two-ply testable bellows. I'm going to talk about how to do that today in this video. We've come up with this fixture that's going to make it a lot easier and a lot foolproof for you, because one of the things that you'll probably notice in your plant if you have a two-ply testable is a tap coming out of a cover. There's a bellows behind here. That tap goes right between those two plies. And in a refinery there may be actually a pop-up type connection, or there might be a pressure gauge right on there. And one of those may be reading a pressure which would indicate a failure. You want to go in there and test that. You probably want to go in there and test that anyway, whether it does or it does not, to know that you don't have a problem. And if you were to go in and send your maintenance guys in there, and they were to hook up shop air right to that tap and put full pressure, 100 psi, that would collapse the inner ply. You don't want to do that. And even if you were to stick a regulator on there and regulate it down to 15 or 20 psi, what they would find is they would, with their valves, take a little bit of pressure in there and then shut it off, and they'd watch that pressure gauge, and then they notice a dramatic drop in pressure, and that might be a false indication of a failure of the inner ply. What is actually happening is the walls on the inside of those bellows are relaxing, and so the volume increases suddenly, and you've got such a small volume in there to begin with that it gives a false reading. So we come up with a fixture to prevent false readings, and this is a pressure tank. Got it at Walmart for 30 bucks, and there's some other a gauge, and there's some taps right here. That's probably another 30 bucks. If you go on our website, there's a PDF that will give part numbers at Walmart, at Grainger. You could just order that on the web if you wanted to. So here's what we do. We charge this thing up with 15 psi, maybe 20 psi, and then we shut it off. This is a shut off closed system of 15 psi. Then we go in here and we tap it right in here. We open the gauge up, and you'll get an initial drop in pressure, and in about another 5 minutes you may see another slight drop in pressure, maybe a pound or two, because of what I just described, and then it'll hold steady. So you might want to start with 20 in there, but then you won't go below 15. And then you can leave that for 30 minutes, you could leave it for an hour, you could leave it for overnight. And that way, that is a foolproof test that keeps you out of trouble from causing a potential overpressurization in that area, and then you can move on to the next bellows. And if you do have a leak, then that's the time to start making plans on a normal delivery for replacement. You can call us, we can give you options. There'll be either refurbishments or complete new units, but we can walk you all through that. If you want to know more about two-ply testable bellows or bellows in general, join us on our website at oakridgebellows.com.